Welcome to Leisure Gamer Network, a home for gangsters, thieves, thugs, or anyone else with a passion for grand larceny, but have time constraints on when you can do it. We rob banks after an hour of surveillance to see if we can make some money and are worth your time robbing. Saints Row the Third opens like any game should, with a classic Star Wars style opening, title sequence to recap you on what happened in the previous game. If you're like me and have not played the previous games, you will enjoy the recap. If you have played the previous games, well, you will also enjoy the ridiculous recap. Fast forward, we jump into a crazy Kung Fu style fight scene complete with Hadouken, 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 and slam dunk in action. Razzle dazzle! After watching this crazy scene, the game now has my attention. The scene ends up being a commercial for some sort of Saints branded energy drink, Saints Flow.
Japanese commercials. Easiest money.
This is where the real story begins, as we find ourselves robbing a bank.
Nobody move!
Of course, the tides quickly turn on this robbery as you work your way through the bank. You quickly find yourself fighting helicopters, but you end up getting captured. Find yourself a hostage of the syndicate. This group is trying to take a cut of your profit. Not a chance. This is a pretty standard third-person shooter, but the game does add a lot of other combat sequences to mix up the gameplay a little. With hand-to-hand combat, you will use the L and R buttons to throw some punches. Occasionally, you will get some up-close and personal style scenes where you will have to mash a certain button to lay the smack down. If the combat still feels a little too basic for you, the game doesn't stop there. You will certainly get to try some crazy fighting tactics, like falling out of an airplane and having to shoot down enemies. Wait, that is still not enticing to you? Alright, how about shooting guided rockets from a satellite? But wait, that's not all. You even get to use a tank! That's right, Saints Row the Third offers a plethora of quirky combat missions to help your trigger fingers stay happy. This game plays out like any sandbox game with story missions and plenty of side missions to try. It may be as simple as hijacking a car and driving to a destination to fighting off waves of enemies. You can also recruit new members into your gang and have them join you on missions. If you are not interested in playing a mission, you can always spend your time hijacking cars and harassing the other gangs and police force. Of course, if you cause a little too much havoc, watch out as enemies will get tougher the longer you fight. Seriously, there was some crazy super speed ninja attacking me. Since you're trying to regain territory, the game allows you to purchase property to earn money. The more you play, the more it pays. Now that we have all this cash, it is time to go shopping! Outside the expected weapons and ammo, you can use your cash to buy new threads and upgrade your ride. Speaking of upgrades, you can also level up your abilities with all that cash you are earning. There are plenty of different types of upgrades, from health and combat to special gang and bonus abilities. Certain abilities can only be unlocked when you reach a certain level of respect, which you earn through completing missions and challenges. One of my favorite parts of the game was that I could create my own character. Whether you're feeling gangster, wankster, or hipster, you can certainly find something that fits your mold. The character creation is pretty deep in terms of adjusting your features. It also allows for some pretty hilarious creations. You can also select your own voice style. Overall, the graphics are pretty good, and the cutscenes add a lot of fun to the game. I did find a couple weird glitches in the game.
Can't wait to ride this thing.
Oh snap! Quicksand cement? Don't move! It just makes you sink faster! The soundtrack of the game offers a lot of variety, from rap to classical. There are plenty of options to meet your satisfaction. In terms of difficulty, you could shoot from the hip, as this game is not much of a challenge. That is why Saints Row the Third earns a rating of low. Getting low, getting low, getting low. I found myself playing like Al Capone and sweeping my machine gun across the screen, wiping out enemies. In addition, the game offers a lot of checkpoints that very rarely take you too far back in a mission. If you are getting into too much heat with the notoriety, you can simply head back to the crib to calm things down. The game also offers 3 levels of difficulty. As you may expect, missions will vary in length, but I found them to be relatively short, especially the side missions. If that is not enough for you, the game offers a horde mode. This is where you basically take on waves of enemies with a different weapon for each level. If you are short on time, this is a great way to play, as the game also saves the last level you beat. By the way, these levels are really one of those "what the sheep" kind of moments.
Leave the keys.
You can floor it when it comes to this game, which is why this game earns a rating of afternoon. There are plenty of quick things to do in Saints Row, if you are short on time with the horde mode, side missions, or simply running and gunning around the city. At first glance, this game seemed to have a lot going for it. There's a lot of fun humor, variety in combat, and an open world to explore. However, if this game were an energy drink like Saints Flow, I can only imagine that it would have a weird aftertaste, which is why I'm giving this game a not really. The third-person shooting made this title seem a bit underwhelming. Sure, it's fun to blow up waves of bad guys, but the lack of strategy wasn't very compelling. The various other combat missions, from guided missiles to using tanks, were pretty much the same as well. Just keep pulling the trigger and hope something blows up.
So what's next?
The story seemed a bit intriguing, however, it seemed to drop off once I hit the streets of the city. The story missions really didn't do a good job of progressing the storyline very well. As a side note, this game has a lot of cursing and a lot of inappropriate material, so this is not one that is safe for the kids. Overall, the game had a few bright spots here and there. The game does have a good direction in terms of humor and spoofs. I will admit there was a certain amount of giddiness while I got to try some of the crazy weapons. The over-the-top characters I found pretty sweet too. Seriously, gangsters with giant swords? Awesome! However, Saints Row the Third is not on the top of my playlist to meet my satisfaction. It has a few glitches with enemies and vehicles getting stuck. The gameplay is not all that riveting. If you are loyal to this franchise, I mean gang, then you will likely enjoy it. As for me, I will maybe get to this one again someday, but then again, I am not sure if I want that weird aftertaste. For your own thoughts on the game! For your own thoughts on the game, post in the comments section below, and remember to subscribe to become part of the Leisure Gamer Network. Till next time, enjoy gaming.
Hack into the Saints accounts and leave them nothing.